kept I just kept turning while I was in the store because I was like, is it me or does somebody else have on the same fragrance? But I'm like, it's me. So sorry, it's me.
Still see ya, I still see ya, doing everything that we said we gonna do, girl, I still see ya.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Listen. I know it's been a while, but I was definitely creating content. I just started doing, well, I didn't just start doing it. I actually was focusing on building a following on TikTok, and I got my profile right here. So that took up a lot of my time and trying to get used to trending actions or trending videos and sounds and all that. It took me a while to get into the hang of it, but if you're not already doing it, please go to my TikTok page and follow me because I create skincare content in 60 seconds or less for men, women, and anybody pretty much. So make sure you check out my TikTok. But today's video, I'm going to focus on something that I have not done yet here on YouTube, and that is fragrance reviews. Now, if you know me, you know I love to smell good. I always have a fragrance on me. I always have a fragrance in my bag, in my car. I have several at my house, if you can tell from my background. These are just maybe a third of the entire collection that I have. And I've pretty much been like this pretty much all my life from what I can remember. And now I've gotten into this thing where wherever city I travel to, whatever state I'm in, wherever I go, if you have a TJ Maxx, a Marshalls, or a Burlington, I'm definitely going in there to see what the cologne or fragrance section looks like. Because I think I think I have an addiction. Like, it's gotten to the point where I think I'm just addicted to buying fragrances because that's how much I'm into it. That's how much I love it. But I haven't really, learned a lot about top notes, middle notes, base notes, and stuff like that. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning the type of scents that I like. I can say that overall, I do go for like warm, spicy, woodsy type scents. But I'm starting to learn more about the tonka beans and vanillas and ambroxan and all that other stuff that I'm still learning about. So anyway, today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Scentual Obsessions. And that is a fragrance house that specializes in duplicating or reinventing their versions of designer fragrances. And the one thing I like about this is I'm getting the same feel, the same scent, and the same combination of these designer fragrances for a fraction of the cost. And that's, you already won with me. You've already won. I'm getting designer fragrances or duplicate versions of designer fragrances for about $40. Sign me up. Sign me up. What makes this fragrance house stand out for me is they have 3 different lines. They have a gold line, a silver line, a bronze line. And the only differences between these lines is the oil concentration in their fragrances. And we all know that the more oil in a fragrance, the longer it's going to last on your skin, the stronger the scent, and so on. So I tend to always go for oil-based fragrances, and if I can find oil-based fragrances that have a high oil content, I definitely go for those too. So today I'm going to start off, I do have 9 fragrances here that I'm going to review for you all, and these are all purchased for my own money. This is not a sponsored video, but Sensual Obsessions, if you see this video and you want to send me some more bottles to review, I'll take them. You want my address? Seriously. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you which bottle that I have, and I'm going to read off the notes to you, but then I'm going to tell you what this fragrance makes me feel like. So I'm going to start off with the first one that I have right here, and this is the Andy Warhol, which is the version of Bond No. 9's Andy Warhol. And just to read off what their notes are, they're saying that the top notes for the Andy Warhol Bond No. 9, the real one, the top notes are plum, cypress, citrus, and bergamot. The middle notes are agar wood, which is oud, rose, patchouli, French labdanum, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and jasmine. And of course, the base notes are vanilla, sandalwood, olibanum, is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure, and musk. So just a quick description of their packaging here. It is a glass bottle, nice plastic top, and the atomizer is pretty decent on mostly all their bottles that I have. It's pretty much the same atomizer, but I do notice that on some of their bottles, the design of the bottle is different. So if you're getting a 30 milliliter or a 1 ounce bottle of fragrance, the bottles may come in two different style bottles, but you're getting the same amount in both. Like, as you can tell, this one has a thicker base, but they're the exact same amount, so you're not getting cheated out of your money when it comes to these two different bottles. So I'm just going to spray this and tell you how I feel about it. As you can see, the atomizer is pretty decent, and it's an actual strong atomizer, and that's what I really like. It doesn't just squirt out and get everywhere. It just evenly distributes the fragrance on you. And just off the bat, this one is, I'm getting slight sweetness from it. It does have that fresh scent that I like, but I don't typically go for fresh scents because to me they smell a lot more like body wash. And I don't want to smell like body wash all day. Like, I like body wash, I love fragrances, I love scented body wash, but I don't want to smell like soap and body wash all day. I don't know. But this actually smells good. It gives me very much unisex. It doesn't strike me as a heavy masculine or a heavy feminine. It definitely has a balance of the two. And actually, this smells good. Like, it's sitting right in front of my face. I don't know if y'all can tell. It's like I still can smell it right here. And I'll be honest with you, I actually have worn this already. And one thing I've noticed is that the initial spray smells so much different than the dry down. And maybe about 2 to 3 hours after wearing this fragrance, it smells completely different. Now, I'm assuming that's my body chemistry and how this fragrance is melting into my skin. And just, you know, a quick tip before I move on to the next bottle, I typically spray my fragrances right here on my neck, my wrist, elbow, inside part of my elbows. And, you know, it's getting warmer outside, so you can also spray the fragrance behind your knees because, you know, your body heat rises. And of course, we're wearing shorts. Ladies are wearing skirts and shorts and all that. Men are wearing shorts. So when you're walking and your body is building up that heat, that fragrance is also getting pushed too. So it lasts a lot longer, but then you have more dimension when it comes to your body chemistry and how you're actually wearing these fragrances. And I'll be honest with you, I did not know anything about wearing fragrances behind your knees. So I seen another video on YouTube about where to properly place fragrances. And when I started doing it, it blew my mind because I was smelling everything that I sprayed on me all day from doing this. All right, y'all, so next up, I have something that is kind of nostalgic for me. This is something I used to wear in college, and how I'm going to introduce it is if you ever used to go to the shopping mall a lot, because I know a lot of people nowadays, we shop online, and a lot of malls are shutting down. So if you ever go to a shopping mall, you know where this store is located because you smell it before you get close to it. The scent lingers, and it's a signature scent that you automatically know. When you smell this, it's like you have on Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. And this is Scentual Obsessions version of Fierce. So one day, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was in the mall and I went into Abercrombie because I was looking for the original Fierce. And to my surprise, they have came out with almost 4 or 5 different versions of Fierce. And one thing that stuck out to me was that I didn't know, one thing about me with fragrances is I do like blind buying fragrances because that's what I do at TJ Maxx and this is what I do online. But I kind of forgot what Fierce smelled like because the store didn't smell like it. And it was weird because every time you're at Abercrombie, that's just something you would smell throughout the store. That's how you knew you was close to the store. That's how you knew you were in Abercrombie, because you smelled that Fierce throughout the store. And I don't know what changed in the last couple of years. I haven't been in the mall in a long time, but you don't smell it. Like, I didn't get that Abercrombie signature scent when I walked in the store. And I don't know if it was just this store or if it's every store, but anyway, it kind of turned me off actually buying it. But then when I seen it on Scentual Obsessions website, I was like, well, let me just try out and see if this is going to be the exact or very close to the Fierce that everybody smells and everybody's used to. This is like extremely close. I'm not going to say it's exact because this, to me, Sensual Obsessions is a little bit lighter than the Abercrombie Fierce. The Abercrombie Fierce seems to be strong on the initial spray. This one is a little bit lighter, and the scent picks up a little bit after you spray it. So this is one of those scents that I think this is one of the versions where this is something that is going to react with your body heat. Because even right now, I'm getting the Abercrombie Fierce. I'm getting that feeling like I'm in the store now, but it's not on the initial spray. This is actually the air picking up the scent, if you will. It's picking up the scent. And I mean, it's close. I'm not going to say it's exact because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Abercrombie Fierce, but it's very close to the point where if I put this on and go outside, nobody's going to know the difference. Like, I'm the only one that knows the difference because I know what Fierce actually smells like, and this is extremely close. So this is another fragrance that I will wear in the daytime, but it's also universal enough and strong enough to wear it. So next up we have Barbershop, and Barbershop is, let me get the name right, that is the duplicate version of At the Barbers by Maison Margiela Replica. And one thing about Replica fragrances, I went to Sephora in Vegas and I've seen they had the whole entire lineup of Replica, and I've always heard about these fragrances. I've always heard about this fragrance house. I've always heard about Jazz Club and By the Fireplace, and everybody rants and raves about them. I had never smelled them before, so I went to the store, picked up the bottle, sprayed it a little bit because you can't get samples, and really you're not supposed to spray the bottles at the Sephora, but I had a cool salesperson. So immediately I was just drawn to the fact that the entire line is unisex or unisex leaning, because there are some more floral feminine fragrances that they do say are from women, but mostly the entire line is unisex. So that was one thing that attracted me to it. And secondly, it was the long lasting, it was just how long the fragrances lasted. Like, I tried the fragrance on my wrist in the store, and I literally smelled it all the way back down the strip when I was walking back to the room. Like, it lasted that long that I had to go to Sephora and actually buy the travel bottle. But then I got on Scentual Obsessions website and seen they had every single one. So I said, why not try to buy their version of it? Because one thing about Maison Margiela is it's expensive. I can't afford it. So this is At the Barbers. One thing I was nervous about this fragrance is I did not want it to smell like shaving cream. So hopefully this does not smell like shaving cream, because when I think of the Barbers, I think this is exactly what it's going to smell like. Shockingly, it doesn't. Now, this does remind me of a barbershop. It's weird. It reminds me of a barbershop, but it doesn't really smell like shaving cream, but it's very fresh. It's definitely a daytime fragrance. It just has that, maybe it does have the little barbershop feel. I don't know. I didn't read the notes off to you. First of all, the top notes are basil, bitter orange, black pepper. The middle notes are lavender, rosemary, geranium, and the bottom notes are white musk, moss, leather, and tonka bean. One thing I'm learning though is that I am very, very attracted to tonka bean. So any fragrance that has tonka bean in it, I always generally like it. I've noticed that. And I definitely smell lavender. I think that's what it is. I think it's the lavender, and it's reminding me of this. It's kind of like it's not a disinfectant spray, but I haven't been to the barbershop in a long time, y'all. I cut my own hair, but it's a scent in the barbershop that you just know you're in a barbershop, but it's not shaving cream. And I cannot think of what it is right now, but if y'all can tell me what it is, make sure you leave it in the comments to let me know, because I know what I'm talking about, but I just cannot think of what it is. But they say that this fragrance is supposed to remind you of being at a barbershop, and it does. So this is a daytime fragrance for me. It doesn't smell like shaving cream, which is a good thing because I did not want to smell like shaving cream. But this is definitely a daytime, definitely a summer and spring fragrance for sure. So next up we have Coffee Hour, which is their version of Coffee Break, another Maison Margiela fragrance by another replica fragrance by Maison Margiela. And these notes are top notes of pepper, orange blossom and patchouli. Middle notes are lavender, coffee, milk, tonka bean, siam benzoin, and bottom notes vanilla, cedarwood, and vetiver. And that's another thing that I've noticed is vanilla, cedarwood, sandalwoods, any wood is going to attract me to a fragrance because, like I said, I do wear a lot of woodsy, spice, warm scents. So the one thing that I did feel nervous about getting this is that I hope that it doesn't smell like a strong coffee. Like, I like coffee, I drink coffee, I like the smell of coffee, but I don't want to spray coffee on my body. So from what I've heard about the initial reviews of Coffee Break by Mason Margiela, people say that surprisingly it has nothing to do with coffee. So let's see it. It doesn't. This has nothing to do with coffee. It doesn't smell like coffee at all. Like, I'm not getting any piece of coffee, espresso, coffee shop, anything. It's actually kind of powdery. It's definitely a unisex fragrance. It's very light. I'm picking up the lavender, but it's like powder, like baby powder in a sense. It's very soft. This is a daytime fragrance, something you wear in the spring and the summer, and I mean, I love it, but why is it called Coffee Break? I don't know what coffee shop smells like this, but it smells good. So definitely, like I said, daytime, spring, summer fragrance for me. All right, y'all, so I'm down to my last three. If you've been with me this far into this video and you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on because you're missing out. And you want to be updated when I post more videos like this and the rest of my skincare content. So go ahead and just click subscribe now before we even move on to the rest of this video. I'll wait. All right, so next up I have the Imaginary Journey. Imaginary Journey is the Sensual Obsession version of Baldy Afrique by Byredo, and I've been hearing so much about this fragrance, and I wanted to try the Byredo version, but like I said, when you're balling on a budget, sometimes you can't afford the fragrance, so you gotta get the next best thing, and that is the Imaginary Journey. This is definitely a unisex scent. I'm going to admit it, when I first got this fragrance, I immediately sprayed it on because I was that excited. So the notes are top notes of Amalfi lemon, Tagates or Tagites, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either, black currant, bergamot, African orange flower. The middle notes are violet, cyclamen, and jasmine, and the bottom notes are vetiver, amber, musk, and Moroccan cedarwood. I don't know if it's me, I didn't smell that. Okay, there we go. There we go. Definitely smell lemon. I definitely pick up that lemon right off the top. It is very light. This is really good. Wow. And I don't like fruity or floral scents, and this one really doesn't have a heavy floral in any of the notes besides the African orange flower and the jasmine, which I like jasmine anyway. But for this to be a unisex scent is this a unisex scent? I don't know if it is a unisex scent. It may not be a unisex scent. I may be making that up, but I'm wearing it, so it's gonna be a unisex scent today. So this actually smells good. It's very light, so usually when I get light fragrances, I automatically know that they probably more than likely will be good layered with another fragrance. I don't know exactly for sure what I can layer this with yet, but this smells good to wear alone. It doesn't give me like a skin fragrance, which, you know, skin, you may know or may not know, skin fragrances are fragrances that are made for your skin, made to be sprayed on the body, and they heat up based off your body heat, and that's how you actually get that fragrance. But this one isn't a skin scent, but it to me, in my opinion, it feels like this should be a skin scent. It should be layered with something else. All right, second to last, we have Noble Woods, and Noble Woods is Their version of Oud for Greatness by Initio. This is one of the blind buys that I bought based solely off of YouTube reviews. And that's what I've been finding myself doing for the last month or so with all of these fragrances and some other fragrances that I have. It's very hard to blind buy fragrances based off of just what somebody's saying. But what I have learned so far in the selection that I have from Scentual Obsessions, I'm very impressed. And I'm going to try to figure out how to wear these every single day. Not at the same time, of course. But I do layer my fragrances, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. Matter of fact, if you layer your fragrances, go ahead and drop me some more comments below and let me know what you like to layer. What is the main fragrance you like to layer with other fragrances, or what are your go-to combinations? So Noble Woods, the top notes are saffron, nutmeg, and lavender. The middle note is oud, and the base notes are patchouli and musk. This is a very simple fragrance compared to the rest that I've just mentioned and just reviewed for you all. It doesn't have that many notes in it, which means this is probably going to be a strong fragrance in one of these areas. Definitely oudy. Definitely. That's one thing I've noticed too, that the more I'm getting into fragrances, and like I said, you know, because I like those woodsy scents, I'm getting more into ouds. So I like that smokiness. I like the woody scent. I like the harshness of a smoky scent, but then I also like when it's blended with sweetness. So definitely that nutmeg and lavender is pulling the sweetness through. The oud, of course, is giving that smoky woodsy scent. Not too much picking up on patchouli, but the musk is definitely hidden at the bottom. Definitely hidden. This is something I could wear day or night, and being that it is a woodsy scent, to me personally, I can wear this year round. Because I mean, some people will say woodsy scents are geared more towards fall and winter. I'm the type of person, I don't really push my fragrances into a season, but for the sake of reviewing and for the sake of you all, sometimes you want to know when I can and cannot wear this. But me, if you want to know honestly, I don't have a season for a fragrance. I wear anything all year. But Noble Woods, dang it, like the more I sit here, like y'all, this really smells good. This really smells good. I'm spraying it on. And the thing about it is, I didn't know if this was going to smell like heavy, like an incense stick type of heavy, but it really doesn't. And I will say the one thing I do love about Scentual Obsessions is that they do not have that synthetic alcohol scent with their fragrances. You can tell these are very oil based. You can tell these are heavily scent, like you can tell the notes that are supposed to be in the fragrances are in these. I don't smell anything synthetic. I don't have that, it's like an after smell a lot of times. A lot of duplicate fragrance houses, sometimes they miss the mark a lot because their fragrances have that synthetic after scent. And that turns me off every time because it makes, for one, it makes them all smell the same. And then secondly, you can just tell when it's a cheap fragrance. And even though I don't want to spend a lot of money on my fragrances, I don't want to smell cheap. It's a difference between spending cheap money on a fragrance and smelling cheap. I don't want to smell cheap because that stinks. Okay, so lastly, last but not least, and if you made it this far through the video, thank you so much for watching to this point. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe because you're going to miss out on all these fragrance reviews I have coming up. And of course, the skincare tips and guides that I've been known to give you all. So make sure you hit subscribe, and we're going to talk about this last fragrance, which is Cigar Bar, which is their version of Red Tobacco by Mancera. This is another fragrance that I looked up on YouTube and just went through, you know, a couple of minutes of reviews from several different people. And of course, I had to buy it because a lot of people were saying that it was sweet, but it did have that tobacco, so it gave you that woodsy scent. And like I said, I'm trying to get more, well, I'm not trying to get more. I definitely will pick a unisex scent before I go for a heavily masculine scent. Because I just, for some reason, unisex just smells better to me because I like when fragrances teeter that soft and hard. You know, it's right there in the middle. You may have a floral scent, but it may have like that one masculine scent at the bottom of it, and it just meshes well. And sometimes men can wear women's fragrances and it's going to smell like a cologne on them. It's going to smell masculine on them, and it's all dealing with your body chemistry. That's another thing I'm starting to learn too, because it was one fragrance, the Valentino for women. I'm not sure which Valentino it is. It comes in the pink bottle. Well, the color of the liquid is pink, so it makes the bottle look pink. I can't remember what it is. That stuff smells so good. I got a sample from it from Sephora. That stuff smells so good. I was like, I'm going to buy this for myself. Like, I don't care if it is a women's fragrance. I'm going to buy this for myself, and it's going to smell good on me. So y'all can judge me if you want to. Anyway, Cigar Bar. So the notes for Cigar Bar is cinnamon, oud, saffron incense, nutmeg, green apple, and white pear as the top notes. The middle notes are patchouli, jasmine, and the base notes are tobacco, Madagascar vanilla, amber, sandalwood, guyet wood, white musk, and Haitian vetiver. To me, I'm getting like a caramel or caramel, depending on where you're from. It's sweet. It's definitely sweet. I don't smell tobacco. Like, I'm not getting that tobacco scent from it, but it's definitely sweet. I think I'm definitely picking up on incense, and I'm definitely picking up on oud. This is something I think I would just stick to wearing at night. Like I said, I wear fragrances all year, but if you're that type of person that sticks with a season, this is more of a colder weather fragrance, so your fall, wintertime fragrance, because it is very heavy. And it's actually really sweet. Let me try it on my hand. Actually, it smells better on your skin. It doesn't smell as heavy. Like when I sprayed it in the air, it smelled heavy. Now that I'm spraying it on my hand, it doesn't smell as heavy. It still has a sweetness, but the sweetness is toned down. I'm picking up more amber, picking up more vanilla, definitely. I still don't smell tobacco. So maybe I do need to smell the actual Mancera red tobacco so I can do an accurate comparison, but I'm not really smelling tobacco. But hey, that may be a good thing because maybe I don't want to smell like tobacco. This right here is definitely, and see, this is an example right here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you see this? When you're spraying this fragrance, you see that little sheen it's leaving? That's letting me know right there that this has a heavy oil content, which to me personally, I love that, because that lets me know that this fragrance is going to not only blend into my body, it's going to last a long time. You're going to smell it just like you smelled it when you first sprayed it on. It's not going to really fade. It'll even, like, all fragrances fade, but you can tell this one is not going to fade as easily. Like, just off that spray, I don't know, well, no, the one on my wrist kind of, I rubbed it off, but it's literally, you can see it sitting on my hand. But what I will say about that is be careful spraying this on your clothes, especially if you have on white or something sheer or very delicate fabrics, because this possibly will stain. And even though it's not a color, it's kind of, well, it's slightly yellow, but even though it's still, you know, clear, relatively clear, it may still stain your clothes, because as you can see, it's like still sitting on my hand. But far as spraying this on your body, one trick, get you some body oil. Oil your body first, when, like right after the shower. Then spray your fragrances on. I'm telling you, your body is almost absorbing that fragrances and pushing it out with your body heat all day. One day I did that where I actually sprayed a fragrance on, and then I actually had a fragrance body oil. I mixed that on too. Y'all, I literally kept I just kept turning while I was in the store, because I was like, is it me or does somebody else have on the same fragrance? But I'm like, it's me. So, sorry, it's me. You know, whenever somebody's walking past you and they're like, "Ooh, somebody smell good," you know it's you. Like, you know it's you. You're not gonna say it's you, but you know it's you. I get that all the time. All right, y'all. So that was my review of Sensual Obsessions, and I can't hold up all the bottles. Like I said, I have 9 bottles total, and honestly, I am thoroughly impressed with how accurate and close some of these fragrances are. Now, some of the fragrances I have not smelt the original designer's fragrance or the original version of them, but most of these I've actually smelt or gotten a sample of from a store like Sephora, Nordstrom, stuff like that. And I am pleasantly surprised at how close these fragrances are. Like I said, Sensual Obsessions, if you ever see this video and you like my review and you just so happen to find some fragrances down there in your warehouse that you may think I like and you want to send them to me, just let me know. I am open to trying more bottles. I'm open to trying more fragrances and more scents. So just, let me know. Send me an email. My dog is being rude right now. Let me know. Send me an email. But as with every other video, y'all, I'm so glad you have stayed this long and watched. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I'm coming back with more skincare videos, and I'm going to be doing more fragrance review videos because, y'all, I went crazy in the last couple of months buying different fragrances and trying out different brands. So I actually have a couple of more fragrance reviews coming up. But as always, thank you so much, and I will see y'all later. Bye.